Welcome back, BU2 people. This is the instructional video on how to perform the main components of meditational fitness. And what are these three components? The first component is breathititions, or breathing per repetition. The second component is burn reps, or the repetitions within a set that burn. And the third component are recovery breaths, how you recover in between each set. And remember, this is meditational fitness. And what does meditation mean? Meditation is concentration, and concentration is holding your thought on one thing. So what will you be focused on during your meditational fitness circuits? Your breathing and your form. All right, so now I'm going to briefly show you each component of meditational fitness so you know exactly how to do it when you get to your meditational fitness circuits. And remember, I will have exactly how many burn reps I want you to do and how many recovery breaths I want you to take annotated in your meditational fitness circuit. So you won't have to guess, well, how many burn reps do I do? How many recovery breaths do I take? So let's start off with breathititions. And this is very simple to understand because a breathitition is breathing per repetition. So you never want to hold your breath when you're doing an exercise. So just let me give you a simple example. A breathitition, or breathing per repetition, or some people even call it breathing in motion. I'm going to show you just a push-up, a standing push-up. Obviously, I'm not really doing a push-up, but I want to show you how to breathe per repetition. With a push-up, it would be inhale on the way down and exhale on the way up. So what would it look like this? And with breathing per repetition, or breathititions, you don't want to take a massive inhale and a massive exhale. You don't really want to breathe into the upper chest or the lower stomach. You sort of want to breathe into the diaphragm. And why do you want to breathe into the diaphragm? Because that braces your body while you're doing an exercise. So those are breathititions. Let me show you another exercise and how to breathe per repetition. And don't worry, because in your meditational fitness circuits, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to have it annotated exactly when you should inhale and when you should exhale. A squat, for example, it's inhale on the way down and exhale on the way up. So it would look something like this. All right, that's breathing per repetition, or a breathitition, or breathing in motion. And that's vastly important because that's a component of meditational fitness. And you have to breathe while you're doing an exercise. That's very important. And you're focusing on your breath and your form while you're doing the repetition. And what does this keep you? This keeps you meditated and focused on your breathing and your form. And the second component of meditational fitness are what's called burn reps. Burn reps are the repetitions that actually burn at the end of a set of exercises. So for example, if I did push-ups, right? That very first push-up that I got to that actually burned and was hard to do, that's my first burn rep in the set. And if I told you to do 5 burn reps, then all you would simply do, that first rep that actually burned, you just do 5 of them. 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what a burn rep is. It's the repetitions within the set that are at the end of the set that actually burn. These are the only repetitions that actually count. These are the repetitions that actually break the muscle down so it can rebuild and get more stronger. And I will annotate for every exercise how many burn reps that I want you to do. So we're not going to do sets for a certain amount of repetitions or for a certain time. Each set of exercises you do are going to be for a certain amount of burn reps. And everybody's going to get to that burn at a different time. Just remember, whenever you get to that first repetition that burns, say I'm doing squats, and I get up to about my 11th or 12th squat, Oh, that one burned. That's my first burn rep. And what did Jesse say to do? He said to do 5. So I have 4 more burn reps. So that's burn repetitions. Very easy to understand. And the last component of meditational fitness are what are called recovery breaths. And recovery breaths are the breaths that you take in between each set. Why? So you can recover as fast as possible in between the set to prepare yourself for the next set of exercise. And you start these recovery breaths directly when you're finished with your set of exercises. And let me show you exactly how to do a recovery breath. It's very simple. It's a quick inhale through the nose and an exhale as you open up the back of your throat and let it out. So it'll look like this. And like I told you before, these are the same recovery breaths that multi-million-dollar athletes take. For example, a basketball player gets fouled and he's at the free throw line. He'll hold the ball and he'll do recovery breaths before he shoots. Now, why is he doing that? Because the more oxygen you get back into the body, the more it increases the likelihood that you'll make the shot. Because the more oxygen you have, the more oxygen your muscles have. And that increases your likelihood of you being able to be calm enough to make your free throw. It's the same thing a football player does in a huddle after a play. They're in a huddle. Same recovery breaths. And you can do these too. And remember, you start the recovery breaths right when you're done with the exercise. And I'll tell you in your workout how many recovery breaths I want you to take in between each set. So don't worry about it. It's going to be written in your workout. And what you'll notice is, for example, if I give you 12 recovery breaths to take in between a set of exercises, you'll notice that after 4, 5, 6, or 7 recovery breaths, your heart rate is lowered. And you no longer really need to take recovery breaths. But that doesn't matter. I want you to count each recovery breath, even if your heart rate is already calmed. I want you to count each breath until you've taken the amount of recovery breaths that I've given you. And remember this, as soon as you're done with that last recovery breath, you should begin the next exercise. And once again, what is this doing? So you're focused on your breath and form while you're doing the exercise. And then what are you focused on during the rest break? Once again, you're focused on your breath. That's why this is called meditational fitness, because meditation is concentration, and concentration is keeping your mind focused on one thing. And like I said before, throughout your entire meditational fitness circuits, you're going to be concentrated, you're going to be focused on your breathing and your form. All right, so now I'm going to do a 3-set circuit of 3 different exercises so you know exactly how to put these components of meditational fitness to work. So with each set, I'm going to do 3 burn reps. In between each set, I'm going to take 7 recovery breaths. All right, so 3 burn reps per set and 7 recovery breaths in between each set. The 3 exercises I'm going to do just to show you how to do these components are standing push-ups, squats, and bicep curls. All right, so let's get into it. I'm starting the first exercise, push-ups. All right, so I'm breathing per repetition. Uh-oh, that was my first burn rep, right? How many burn reps am I doing per set? 3. So I have 2 more reps to do, so I do a total of 3 burn reps, all right? So 2 more to go. And I start my recovery breaths immediately. And how many are we doing? 7. Okay, I noticed that I don't even have to take recovery breaths anymore because my heart rate is lowered. But what did I tell you to do? I still have 2 more recovery breaths to do, so I'm still counting my breaths. And directly once my recovery breaths are done, I go right into the next exercise. Don't forget, I'm breathing per repetition and I'm doing 3 burn reps. Let's get it. Squats. Okay, that was the first rep that burned. How many burn reps am I doing? 3. So I have 2 more reps to do, so I have a total of 3 burn reps. And what do I start directly when I'm finished? My recovery breaths. My heart rate is lowered, but I'm still counting my recovery breaths. I have 3 more to go. Right after my 7 recovery breaths, I go right into the next exercise, which is bicep curls, all right? So that's exhale on the way up and inhale on the way down. Uh-oh, that was my first burn rep. So I have 2 more reps to do, so I have a total of 3 burn reps. And I start my recovery breaths immediately when I'm done with that set. Oh, I feel my heart rate already lowered, but I still have 4 more recovery breaths to do that I'm counting. Why? Because I'm maintaining focus on my breathing. 2 more. So now you see exactly how to apply these meditational fitness components to your workout. And don't worry, I'll have exactly how many burn reps I want you to do and exactly how many recovery breaths I want you to do written in your workout. So remember, you're doing a set of exercises and you're breathing per repetition and you're doing a certain amount of burn reps while you do it at the end. Then in between, you're going to have recovery breaths for 7, 10, or 12 recovery breaths, whatever I write down. Directly after those recovery breaths are done, you start your second set of exercises and you're breathing per repetition and you're doing a certain amount of burn reps at the end. Right when you're done, you're doing recovery breaths in between. Like I said, for 7, 10, or 12 recovery breaths, however many I have written down. Right when those recovery breaths are done, you're doing your third set of exercises. And in my meditational fitness circuits, there'll be no more than 5 exercises per circuit. Sometimes there might be 4. And at the end of the 4 or 5 exercises, you'll see that I say, after your recovery breaths, take a 60-second break, and then you start the circuit again. So that's it, folks. That's the main components of meditational fitness. Very simple, but as you can see, what are you focused on the entire time? You're focused on your breath, you're focused on your form. So you're concentrated, you're focused, you're meditating on something the entire time you're doing your workout. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you need to rewatch this video to know exactly how to do your breathetitions or your burn reps or your recovery breaths, just rewatch it. And if you have any questions, just message me. All right, beautiful people. I'll see you in the next video.